Hey everyone, it's Lenny Rao here from lennysnetmarket.com, and today I have a very special revenue, what I'm calling a revenue. Now you probably haven't heard that before, and this is something new that I'm trying out. It's going to be a review, a webinar, and an interview all rolled into one. I've got a special guest with me today, and we'll talk to him shortly. But as you guessed, we're going to be talking about Bam Bam Backlinks. Now these are going to be some of the most powerful free backlinks that you're going to be able to get your hands on. All right, and we're going to get to what that is all about here shortly. I really want to thank everybody for taking the time out to join this webinar. I know everyone has busy schedules, so again, I really appreciate you being here. And we're going to jump right into this thing. If you have any questions along the way, we can answer those as you have them. So go ahead and pop them in the chat box, and we'll try to address those as we get to them. All right, so let me go ahead and make this full screen so everybody can see it a little bit better, and we'll go from there. All right, so after we get through this revenue, there's going to be some exclusive bonuses for anyone that decides to purchase Bam Bam Backlinks through my affiliate link here. And I also have a special gift for anyone that is live attending the webinar with us right now, if you decide to stay on to the end. All right, so before we jump into the revenue, I want to talk to you about backlinks. I want to talk to you about the power of backlinks. And this is going to be very basic for anybody that's already familiar with SEO. But I have a general question. So why do you need backlinks? Most of us already know they really help with search engine rankings. They provide authority, and they help you get recognized as the most relevant source in the search engine, which ultimately helps you rank. That's what Google's looking for. They want to serve their users with the most relevant content from authoritative sources, and they just want the user to have a great user experience. But the problem with that is, if the web page that is that you're trying to rank, if it doesn't have good quality on it, it doesn't have a good subject matter, you're just not going to rank, even if you have powerful backlinks. So the first thing is, make sure you have good content on your site. But when we're talking about backlinks themselves, you run into problems if you're using SEO automated tools like GSA Search Engine Ranker, or some of the other ones that give you massive amounts of backlinks. Too many too fast can be very harmful for you. And the thing that we really want to keep in mind for this revenue is, not all backlinks are good. So we need to focus on getting high quality backlinks over quantity. All right, so it's not about how many you can get and how fast you can get them. It's about having those quality backlinks that they're going to stick and give you authority and show you as the most relevant source in the search engines. All right, so what's the solution? We're talking about backlinks. A lot of you know where to get backlinks from, but a lot of people don't know where to get quality backlinks from. So when you end up getting massive amounts of these spammy backlinks, you end up getting penalized by Google, and you ultimately don't rank well. So what's the solution? If you can't beat Google, then join Google. And that's the old saying you may hear: if you can't beat them, join them. And we're going to be using the power of Google against itself to ultimately get page one video rankings and website rankings as well. But today we'll be talking about more video rankings. So the solution is Bam Bam Backlinks, and this is going to be going live on July 12th, 2017 at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right now I want to introduce my special guest, Mr. Clive McGonigal. He is the product creator of Bam Bam Backlinks. And so on this next slide here, I'm just going to give you an overview of who Clive is, for those of you that may not know him. And then I'm going to turn it over to Clive so he can kind of give you an overview of what Bam Bam Backlinks is all about, maybe even give you a preview into the members area and show you what you're going to get if you decide to pick it up. So again, welcome Clive. Really honored to have you on the show today. As you all may or may not know, Clive is a full-time web and video marketer. He's been doing this since 2003. So I put that there because I want you guys to know he is the real deal. This is not some fly-by-night video marketer that's trying to get you to pick up some product, and he's trying to sell you something as he learns along the way. This is absolutely not the case. He has been doing this since 2003. He is the proud owner of I Am Power Club. They have over 3,000 members, and it's constantly growing. Two Commandments is fairly brand new, and it's all about the things that you need to be doing to make sure your videos are properly optimized to get you ranking in 2017. YouTube Implant is an older product, but it's very relevant. It has a lot of golden nuggets on how to make your videos more engaging. to get those clicks and opt-ins. Clive has a SEO and keywords course on Udemy, and the list goes on and on and on. So again, welcome to the show, Clive. I'm honored to have you. Could you give us an overview of what Bam Bam Backlinks is all about and how it kind of came about? How'd you create this, and kind of just talk us through what this is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much, Lenny. Really pleased to be here, and thanks very much for putting in so much effort that you've done here to promote me. I really appreciate it. I've only known you, I don't know, probably for about a year or so, I guess. We're in a couple of groups together where we talk about all things video related. And YouTube, like anything on the internet, is a constant learning curve. You mentioned about my YouTube implant, which was my very first product that I ever promoted, which was all mostly focused on getting those clickable links inside videos. And at the time, which was about, what, 4 or 5 years ago, a friend of mine got in touch and he said, hey, do you realize this thing YouTube have brought in this annotations thing, and you know, you can click to a website? And this sort of little light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, wow, that is jackpot time. So I looked into it and showed people how to, when they're creating the video, create a shiny button in the video, you know, like click here, putting an annotation around it, and that would then click to their website. And that was fantastic, because up until that time, everyone creating a video was begging the viewer to click the link in the description underneath the video. So that was great, and it was very popular, and everyone got on board, and now it's common knowledge. But everything that is cutting edge at some point eventually becomes common knowledge, and what I'm going to be talking about today is cutting edge, and it is certainly not common knowledge. Only a very few really professional video marketers understand this and are using it. But the great thing is, it's not technical. It doesn't take a lot of understanding once you get your head around the concept. So yeah, I'll walk you through the product now. If you'd like to swap the screen over to me, Lenny.
Sure thing. Yep, I'll do that right now. While I'm doing that, does anyone have any questions so far? I know we're kind of just getting started. Just keep in mind you can pop your questions in the chat box at any time, and then Clive or myself will be sure to answer. All right, Clive, I'm giving you control of the screen now.
Okay. Right, can you see, oh, hold on there. Yep, show my screen. There we go. Okay. Can you see the Welcome to Bam Bam Backlinks page?
I can.
Okay. So once you're in, this is it's inside a membership area, but it is not a membership. I mean, it's a one-time payment thing. But I just find it easier to produce stuff inside and protect stuff inside members areas. Okay, when you get in, you'll see my spokesperson, Mark. I've had a lot of comments about him. He's a really funny guy, and I just love him to death. So that's why when you see the sales page, I hope you'll appreciate him too. So I liked him so much, I even put him as a little promotional, well, motivational video there of him telling people to, what we always say, or what everybody says, is to implement it because it works. And so implementation is what it's all about. Okay, so the first thing we'll see is basically an overview of the plugin. Now, the offer comes with a WordPress plugin that I had developed, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. Underneath that, I've got a mind map, which I won't click through now because it'll slow things down, but a mind map of all the various Google properties. I'm using 15 at the moment and counting, because new ones are coming up all the time. There's quite a few that I haven't even explored yet. I do say in some of the videos that once you get into this, or once I got into this, it was like Alice in Wonderland falling down the rabbit hole, you know, because once you got down there was so much stuff. It was unbelievable. You could go off of all kinds of tangents, use all kinds of different properties, Google properties. And the great thing about that is that when you do this yourself to rank your videos or websites, the method you use, the combination of Google properties that you use, will not be the same as mine. Basically, you can do whatever you want. So everyone's backlink profile, if you like, will be kind of unique because there's so many different ways of using this. Absolutely. There's also an associated Google document where any of the links I mention in the videos, maybe short recaps or little bits of code, that kind of thing that I can't put in the video, you can get those there. And in a moment, excuse me, and in a moment we'll go and check a test ranking that I did. Now, the next thing is we go down, we've got some tools that I've had developed. Some of these you may have seen before, either mine or someone else's, which come in handy being used in tandem with the method. So we've got the YouTube variation generator, which you put in your YouTube identifier, and it comes up with 80 or 90 different URLs that are all pointing back to your video. So that's so again, you're mixing up the backlinks. A buyer intent search term generator, which is, search terms are better when people are showing an interest in actually purchasing or getting something. Timed links generator, similar to the URL variations. You put in your YouTube URL, the length of it in minutes and seconds, and it creates timed links. Each one is unique, again, pointing back to your video. And depending on the length of your video, that can be hundreds, even thousands of backlinks that you can use there. And then also we've got a Google Shortener. So what you could do is you could take the output from the variations generator, paste all those URLs into the Google Shortener generator, and now you've got Google Shortener links for all those separate URLs. So again, we're really mixing it up here. And of course, the Google Shortener is a Google property, and that's what all this is about. So let's scroll down now. Okay, the introduction. That's what it says on the box. This is me talking to you now. Now, the first property we're looking at is one I'm sure everyone's aware of. I thought I'd start with an easy one. Of course, that's blogger.com. I think it's been for a long time. Anyone that's looking to rank their videos has been using Blogger to embed their YouTube video, and it's a good thing to do. But there are other ways of using Blogger that I cover in this. I've also got a link here on the right to all the videos in a private playlist on YouTube, because sometimes these videos on Vimeo and occasionally Vimeo runs slow, so you've got the option there. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is Google Sites. These are websites. People can build a website on Google. A very simple website. They look pretty good. It's sort of similar to Blogger. And there are two different types of Google Sites. They both work differently. I explain the differences and how to use them. We can embed our videos, embed content. We can import RSS feeds, which I'll talk about in a moment. All kinds of good stuff. So there we are. Again, you may have heard of these. Going down. Now, we're into the really good stuff. We've got Google Documents, Google Sheets, which is Google Spreadsheets, and Google Slides, which is what Lenny is using to present the slideshow for this, what do you say, webiniew, not webinar, webiniew. Yeah, so I'll go through Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and show you how you can embed your backlinks, how you can add content. In many cases, you can embed your video too. You certainly can in Google Slides. Some of the other properties, it's a bit difficult to find out how to do it, but in most cases you can. And of course, what you can then do then, I'm sure many of you have heard of YouTube silos, where one YouTube video you've got up links to another one that links to another one. Maybe they're in a circle, or you've got 9 videos all pointing to your money video. That's another type of silo. Well, in the same way, you can do the same thing with the Google properties, because all of them are going to be pointing to your YouTube video, but of course they can also be pointing to each other, which gives it more power. Nice. Next, we're talking about Google My Maps. Took me a long time to find out how to embed a video into a Google map, but yes, it can be done. We've got Google Drawings and Google Keep, which is a sort of it's a place where you can put all your Google stuff. And when you start using these properties, quite often you'll find in the navigation area of these properties, it encourages you to import stuff. So in Google Keep, I could import a Google document. I could import my Google Slides. So automatically, as I say, you're creating silos. Moving down, we've got Google Events, Google Calendar, and Google Groups, which are a bit like the old Yahoo groups or Facebook groups. So you can create a group around your niche topic, embed your video, get content in there, again, all pointing back with the backlinks. And as I say, you can use those tools to mix the backlinks up. So it just goes on and on. Google Cloud, this is a really cool one. This is Google's answer to Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is a cloud storage area, amongst other things. And, and you can upload videos and documents and all kinds of stuff there. In fact, you can even upload a simple website. And when you go to the sales page for Bam Bam Backlinks, I'm actually hosting all the sales pages in the Google Cloud. But the important thing for us to know today is getting a backlink from the Google Cloud is super high authority. Just that alone will give your video a real boost. So I explain how all that works there. And then we go on to RSS. Now, if you're like me, I was always a bit scared of RSS. It all sounded a bit too technical for me. But we've all come across it, and it's every blog has an RSS feed, and it just shows you create an RSS feed for a blog, and it will show your various post titles, maybe a little snippet of the first couple of sentences. And then once you've got that RSS feed, you can then aggregate it via various websites like pingler.com and Pingomatic and Pinggoat and all these mass ping. There's so many of them. And that's just a way to encourage Google to index your pages, because Google likes RSS feeds, and also it creates sort of kind of bookmarks, if you like. So RSS feeds are pretty simple to do, especially when you use the Bam Bam RSS plugin. But the RSS thing, I know it's a bit techy for some, so I broke it down into 2 videos, because one of the points that I kind of pride myself on, I hope I'm not being sort of arrogant here, but in my videos, I do edit my videos once I've made them. I cut out the fluff. If I'm explaining something and I can't enter a capture code, it's taking too long, I don't want to bore the viewer with that. I will cut that bit out, you know what I mean? I want the videos to be short, sweet, and to the point, because I want to keep your attention, and I don't want people's minds wandering because they're waiting for me to, for my page to load or some such nonsense. So this isn't, it's not for dummies, don't get me wrong, it's quite the opposite. This is for smart marketers, but I wanted to make it very simple for people to understand, because some people I find can overcomplicate stuff, and I'd like not to be one of those people. And the other thing, of course, is occasionally I go off on tangents like I'm doing right now, and I can edit that out of my videos too. So we've got 2 RSS roundups, and these are great because I'll show you how you can import an RSS feed into a Google property. Now that's amazing. You can import RSS feeds into Google Sites, you can import RSS feeds into Google Sheets, Google Sheets, spreadsheets, and a couple of others too. And again, really powerful. So you're building those silos.
Go on, Lenny. I got a question that just came in from Gwen. She's asking, is it necessary to use all the properties you mentioned in conjunction with the RSS feeds, or can you just use a few?
Oh, absolutely. I'd say just use a few. But basically, I'm giving you a whole armory of properties here. So choose your weapon. You know what I mean? Just go in and pick one thing and do that, and then see how it affects your ranking. And then if you're not seeing much movement, go in and do another. I found the first test I did, it all happened pretty quick. So there's no need, don't do overkill. I think that in a way that works against you. Just use what you need. I mean, when you're on page 1, in a good position on page 1, you don't need to do anything else other than every couple of days go in and monitor it, I'm also looking, probably one of the bonuses I'll probably add, looking into that now, is a little bit of software where you can go in and check your rankings without having to go into YouTube and find it. So yeah, use it slowly, but you've got everything here. There's just using every property would, to me, be overkill. Definitely, you don't need to do that. In fact, you don't even need to use the RSS side of things. Just do what you're comfortable with. Some of the properties are easier to use than others. They're quicker to use. A Google document, in combination with the YouTube variation tool, you can get that set up in 5 minutes. And so do that first and see how that affects your rankings. So as I said earlier, it is a rabbit hole, and once you get into it, you can just keep on going forever. But at some point, you've got to get out of the hole and get on with your life. So yeah, that's That's my long-winded answer to that question.
It's funny you said that, and I'm glad that question was asked, because I've actually ruined my rankings on launch jacking type products. I'd be on page 1 and I'd have the ranking established, and I'd still be building backlinks. I'd still be trying to promote the video, just doing way too much. And ultimately, I think it harms you in the long run. For example, if you build too many backlinks too fast, your citation score is going to jump way up. And depending on the quality of the links that you're building, again, you can just ruin your own rankings unnecessarily, versus if you already have that first page spot and you've already done a few properties. Like Clive said, you can always go back and add more. So don't bring a gun to a knife fight, so to speak. Get the rankings and then sit on it. If you need to add more later on, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, yeah, that sort of has happened to me in the past too. Once you get into backlinks, you kind of, you can go overboard. You think, oh, a few more won't hurt, a few more. And I'm not talking about Google properties. I'm talking about the way I did backlinks back in the day. And you can easily ruin your rankings. It's also the same with live streaming, for example. If you do that too early, if you're trying to do a launch jacking and you stream live too early, you might get on page 1 that day or the next day maybe, but it will drop away. So you should hold back on live streaming until maybe just the day before a launch. That's what I try and do. I'm not really into launch jacking much now. I just promote affiliate stuff. But this course is whether you're promoting, as I do, products to get commissions. If you're in offline and your competitor, another offline consultant, is getting somebody else's business above the one that you're representing, this is all good stuff. You can use it for e-commerce. So it's not just videos, as Lenny mentioned. You can use it for websites too. I focus on videos. That's my kind of thing. So when I talked right at the beginning, when I started talking about the YouTube implant, my first product and the annotations, now last month, YouTube retired annotations. They are no longer clickable. So that product is kind of obsolete, not 100% obsolete, because you can still use the clickable link in the video in the 20-second end screen that you can now add. So you could add a shiny button, just an image at the tail end of your video for 20 seconds, just sitting there with the big click me button on it. So the YouTube implant thing still does work in that respect. But the point I'm trying to make is that stuff changes all the time. YouTube changes the rules, Google changes the rules. So it's not just a question of following their rules, because, but as Lenny said, Google loves Google. Google is a narcissist. Google wants people to stay on Google. They want people to stay on Google properties. So these backlinks you're getting, Google will reward you because you are promoting their other properties, you're using their other properties, and the fact that you're using them to link to a video that you want to rank well is, it's all good stuff. So there we've got the summary. We've got a Facebook group, private Facebook group I've had going for some time now. Let's see if I'll put it here. There we go. It's the IM Power Club Facebook group. And there I share stuff, not just about Bam Bam Backlinks, but about resources I find and so on. So I'd love to see some of you guys there. Pop in, look it up on Facebook. Let me just go back to the thing. And then I've got a walkthrough of the plugin and how it works. Now what's cool about the plugin, I had this developed myself. You install it into WordPress. You can then add a URL. So let's say you add the URL of your blog, let's say, and then you write a small description, maybe a couple of sentences about what your blog's about, and then you click a plus button, and then you can add another URL. Now the next URL might be the Google document you created. Create another URL, which could be, of course, your YouTube video link, your YouTube channel link, and you can keep creating more and more links, each one with a key search term rich mini description. You can even, as I suggest, and I've always evangelized about this, you can add links to powerful websites in your niche that don't necessarily belong to you, but just to give your RSS feed, the one that you'll be generating with the plugin, more interest, more power. When you link out to other people's websites, it's a good thing to do. I mean, when I create a YouTube description, let's say it's about dog training, I will link out to a Wikipedia page about dogs and about dog training. I feel that that's a good thing, because if you're writing a blog post, a really good blog post, you're always going to add links to resources that help the reader of that post get a better idea of whatever it is you're talking about. So you can add other people's links. Once you've done all that, you click the button and it creates an RSS feed for you, which is perfectly formatted. So you've got all your links in, you've got lots of mini descriptions, all search term related. And once you've got that, you can then import that into Google FeedBurner, which is their sort of RSS creator. And now you will have your RSS feed in a Google property, and then you can get that link, and then you can import that into a Google Sheet. And as I say, it's Alice in Wonderland time. It just goes on and on. So in a nutshell, that's it. And I'm just going to finish up now, Lenny, by let's checking how my test video did. Now, I thought I wanted to test for something that is pretty reasonably competitive, that is relevant to what we're talking about today, and the sort of thing people like us will search for on Google. So the search term I chose was video ranking tips, and this is going to click through to Google. Now you see, this is what I would edit out of my training videos. This white screen. So in a way, yeah. While we're waiting for that, Lenny, if you have anything to say or any other questions.
Yeah, sure. Let me check the box. Because I did have a couple more questions that were coming in here. Let's see. So Patricia is asking, what all can this be used for? Can it be used for local marketing and other niches, or is it simply for affiliate marketing?
No, it's if you are interested in ranking videos, and we're all interested in that, whatever line of internet marketing area you're in, affiliate products, e-commerce, CPA, offline, if you're interested in getting a video onto page one, this is what to use. Now, I'm sure some of you are going, what the heck? You're looking at this screen. There's my video on number one, page one of Google for video ranking tips. I like to make my thumbnails really stand out because that helps me get clicks from related videos inside of YouTube. Really important to have a good thumbnail. Now you can see I've been supersized by Google. Now I'm not making any promises here that you will get the same results getting the supersized thing. I don't know if it's because Google is so happy with me that they've decided to reward me for using all their properties. I didn't get the supersized out of the gate. I made that video in February because I wanted to keep testing it. As I was building the course, I wanted to keep going back, making sure that it stuck. For the first week or two, it did what's called a Google dance. It jumped around, but eventually now it's settled down at page one. It's a pretty short video. It's 2 minutes, 56 seconds. In YouTube, it's probably had, I don't know, a couple of 100, 300 views, something like that. But it's beating videos that are trying to get ranked for that same search term that have been around for a couple of years, have hundreds and hundreds of views, and I've knocked them down in YouTube, but I've also knocked them off of page one. So I'm not promising you're going to get the supersized me thing, but you can imagine the first time I saw that, I went, "Oh my God, that's fantastic!" You know. So yeah. I was really. So that's pretty.
I'm sorry, Clive. One thing I was going to say, what I really like about this example is most of the time when someone shows an example of a video ranking they show a local keyword, or they show a keyword that has about 6 words in it, like a super long tail keyword or something to that effect. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying those in some cases can be competitive, but this is still a fairly short keyword. It's a money keyword, in my opinion. It's something that someone that's serious about ranking videos or aspiring to be a video marketer, they would type into the search. And if you had an engaging video that's going to either lead them to a squeeze page or to maybe one of your own video ranking products or your Facebook group, I mean, you're going to get some engagement, and you're going to get some opt-in, some sales, and everything else. So I really like the fact that you showed an example of a fairly competitive keyword. As you can see, it has over 17 million results. So that's impressive.
Okay, the other thing I would say is that I find that when sometimes in other products people are showing their rankings, they show them when they are logged into their YouTube account. I don't think I'm logged in now, but you don't want to do that, because that can, you know, if you're logged in, chances are your video will show higher than it shows to someone else. So I always like to show my results when I'm logged out of Google, logged out of YouTube. That's number one. If any of the viewers after this webinar go and check out the video, it is not the best video in the world. It was purely a test video. I've got a talking head on it. It's not the best video I've ever done. It was just a test. So don't judge me on the content of the video, but by all means judge me on where it ranks. I'll show you, I'll give you another, if I may, Lenny, another example, sure. Which I'll talk you through. A few nights ago, I got a call from Mike from Maine, who many of you will know, because he'd seen that I was launching this product and he wanted to ask me some questions about it. And as usual, Mike asked me for some proof. Well, I showed him this, and he seemed to be pretty impressed. And I thought, oh, well, I'll do another one for him. I didn't tell him anything. But he and Brett Rutecki released a product just over a year ago, maybe more, called Profit Canvas. And at the time, I made a review video for that, just to get some affiliate sales. And I think I made a few affiliate sales. I can't remember where I ranked that video. I may have got it onto page 1, possibly. I simply, quite honestly, can't recall. But I thought, oh, let's go and see where that's ranking now. So I typed in Profit Canvas review, and my video was on page 3 of the YouTube results. Now, in YouTube, when you're doing a search in YouTube, whereas Google shows you 10 properties, 10 links in their search, YouTube shows 20. And I found mine on page 3, it was ranked 57. So I thought, right, here's a good test. Let me throw some Bam Bam Backlinks at this using some Google properties, and let's see if I can bump it up. Well, that was last Saturday, so it's just, it's a week, just over a week. And I'm now on page 1, place 13 or 14 for Profit Canvas review. So I've jumped from page 3 to page 1, and what is good about this, I've kind of shot myself in the foot, because that video was only about a minute long, and that's a bit too short for a review video, I'm sure you'd agree. And in fact, that video was asking people to click through to my blog, where I was giving them the full review of the product. Anyway, getting that from page 3 to page 1, and hopefully I'm going to get it higher. People in my Skype group have asked to test it for me, because wherever you are in the world, results will vary. So I see it at 14. A couple of people in my group have seen it at number 4, others at 5, others at 6, others less than 14, sort of 16, 17, whatever. But to me, I thought, well, that's a good thing, because it means that if you can find evergreen products that people are still buying, but no marketers are promoting, stuff that's been around a long time and will be around for a long time to come. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking things like Optimized Press or Market Samurai or Video Maker FX. And not everyone has bought those products, but those products are still out there, and people are still looking to purchase those products. And so we'll still be typing into Google Video Maker FX review. Now, if you've got a video on page 3 of YouTube results and you want to get it onto up to page 1, this is the kind of training that you're going to need, because you're going to make sales just by getting your video with a good thumbnail. Don't forget, good thumbnail. Get that onto page 1, because if you've got a good thumbnail, you'll get the click even if you're not number 1. So there's a little tip for you. Find stale videos that maybe you used to rank for or not anymore, or you can just create a brand new video for an old evergreen product, and using these Bam Bam tactics that nobody else will be using, get onto page 1 and make some sales.
That's a great tip.
Okay, that's me done, Lenny. Do you want to go back to your screen now?
Sure. Let me transfer it back over. All right, cool. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, cool. Yeah, so as Clive, like that's a great tip that you just shared there, Clive. And another thing I like to do, and we're talking about products that have launched maybe last year or maybe even 6 months ago, where people aren't actively promoting, but you can still get some evergreen sales, if you will. You can also put up videos that teach someone how to do something, and then ultimately say, hey, if you want to learn how to speed this up, you also like this video, which is your review video talking about that product that launched previously. And then you're always having constant traffic going from active search terms like how to build a website. If someone had launched a product 6 months ago on how to build a website, again, your tutorial video is going to shift them to that previous review video. And then that's a way to kind of keep constant traffic funneling to old products that necessarily aren't being promoted, but are still quality products that can get you some commission. So that's just another tip to add on to what Clive was saying. But
yeah, I mean that is a good tip too. And if you could, so in a way, by doing what you've suggested, people that are launch jacking these days are launch jacking products that are coming out tomorrow or have just come out. People aren't launch jacking products that are a year old. Everyone forgets about that in marketing. Everyone's promoting the latest shiny object, which might be here next month, it might not. But if people are still buying a product a year down the line, you know it's a good product, you know it's being supported, it's going to be around forever. That's kind of a turning launch jacking on its head. So your launch jacking video isn't a launch jacking video, it's a product video, a product review video that you're going to get onto page one, and no one will even know you're doing it other than the people who are looking for a review or training around that product. So yeah, I think that is a little golden nugget for people to take away from this, no matter whether they purchase Bam Bam Backlinks or not, you know. But believe me, Bam Bam Backlinks will help you get onto page one because they are powerful authority backlinks, and Google love them.
Absolutely. And it's funny we're having this conversation, because I actually mentioned this to Mike from Maine. This was a while ago. I mean, it may have been sometime last year. I said, what do you think about, I'm thinking about a product called After Launch Profits, and it was exactly what you were talking about. My idea would have been trying to target launches that maybe were within the last 30 days. So if a product launched 30 days ago, go do a review for that. And this would be kind of like a recap, so to speak. So the product's been out 30 days. You've gotten feedback from buyers, and I'd be interviewing the product creator at this point. So this would be After Launch Profits, interviewing the product creator, saying, all right, so you're getting feedback from your buyers at this point. I'm sure people have shared tips on how they're using your tools and stuff, and then get the product creator to share some tips that they haven't shared in the past, because now they have more knowledge about their product than they previously had based on usage data, and then kind of package that all up and make it into a course. So it's maybe something that I end up doing, but yeah, we definitely, I think, discuss some good tips for anybody, whether you pick up this course or not. That's something that you can do and still make some affiliate commissions. But
great minds think alike, Lenny. What can I tell you?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so as you can see, guys, I have it slide up right now. This is a recap of what you're going to get just on the front end if you pick up Bam Bam Backlinks. We're talking about, I think it's actually 11 videos. One's an introduction, but 10 high-quality videos. These videos range anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes on average. They're all 1 or 2 that go maybe 10 minutes long. But I'm making that point because these videos are very easy to digest. I think Clive does a great job of giving you an overview of the Google property itself, and he covers exactly how to use that property. And so Clive wasn't able to click into that Google Doc for multiple reasons, and the mind map itself. But I want you to know, as a product reviewer, as somebody that actually went through all the videos and went through the resources in the video, this Google document is 19 pages. It's very, very thorough. So this is the kind of document that you want to have open as you're working your way through these steps. It is a great reference guide. And from purchasing Clive's products in the past and working with him on things, what I really like about when someone uses a Google Doc to do a tutorial is the fact that that Google Doc is a living document, which means at any point in time, if something goes away or something needs to be updated, Clive doesn't have to do a recall on a PDF. He doesn't have to go record a new video. He can pop right in and update that document.
Yeah, let me jump in there. I've been using Google Documents for quite a long time in previous training that I've done for that very reason. downloading a PDF, it just sits on your hard drive. You might read it once or twice. If it's very good, you might try and, look at it again. But that document, that PDF is not being updated. It is what it is. It's kind of set in stone. So that's why I like the document. Some of the training I've done in the past, I go in and I'll change things. For example, that as I mentioned about YouTube annotations, in the document that related to that training, I've now gone in and changed that to say, hey, as of June, this no longer works, but try this instead, and so on. So I'm a great believer in, so I'm a Google fan in a way, so it's quite sort of, ironic. Well, not ironic, it's to the point. It validates it, really. I do like using Google properties for that very reason, that they can all be updated because they're all in the cloud. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, perfect. And then, so these are the things that you get. This is just the front end, people. I'm talking about 10 high quality videos that are very easy to understand, on average 7 minutes. So total time, I think I calculated the course, you're looking at about an hour and maybe 10 minutes to get through the videos just as is if you went straight through the videos. Now, if you're setting this up step by step, following the PDF guides, you can set this up fairly quickly. The beauty of this product is you don't have to use every single property. And again, you're not doing overkill here. So you may do 3 to 5 properties and then kind of go from there and just see how things work. You may not even need to use the RSS plugin, but Clive had that developed for you if you need to. The mind map is just a great visual to show you how the processes work and how the properties all interlink, and ultimately how you're going to be pushing juice from one property to the next, and ultimately powering up your YouTube video or the property. And then lastly, you're going to have an active Facebook group with the other members that you can connect with and communicate with. So everybody wants to know, what's the price, what's the OTOs? As you can see, I kind of spilled the beans here, to take any thunder away from Clive. I kind of have the price listed here, but if you want to expand on anything I have here, you're welcome to do that now.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm sure everybody's like me. You buy a product and then you go through 3, 4, 5 upsells. It drives me crazy. And I like to be completely, I'm glad you asked, I'm glad you've shown that slide, because I like to be completely open about this. I have even on the sales page, if someone doesn't like the price and they don't want the RSS plugin, they've got another option, where they can just get the training if they want. I'm completely open about this because I think people appreciate that. But the upsell, if you like, it's not a one-time offer, it is an upsell, is my latest YouTube training, because Bam Bam Backlinks is great, but you still need to do decent SEO on your YouTube video, the titles, the descriptions, the tags, and lots of people know this already, but I guarantee you, even if you are already ranking videos on page 1, you know what you're doing, you will find some really cool stuff in Tube Commandments. Again, you can tell by the name, it's 10 videos, good quality videos, I like to think, that take you through the whole process. Each video has its own Google document with links to free tools, all that other kind of cool stuff. So it is a great addition to Bam Bam Backlinks. It is the most, combine the two, and basically you've got the most thorough training on video ranking and backlinking that you'll find. I mean, I have a couple of friends who are YouTube marketers and promote products, and some of them are really good. But a lot of stuff you see is so out of date and it's obsolete. And again, the Tube Commandments, each document is updatable. And again, it's in a membership area already, even though I haven't released it yet. I've added a new video to because when I did create the Tube Commandments, annotations were still working. So now that they don't, I've added a new video to explain the differences and how to get around it and so on. So I like to think that an upsell that I sell, that I'm promoting, will improve upon the front end. It's not just like an add-on. And also, I'm not saying giving a one-time offer number 2, which is something kind of related, or one-time offer number 3 is Bam Bam Backlinks Deluxe. It's it's everything everything you need you've got in the front end. And if you want cheap, really solid SEO, video SEO training, that's in the upsell. And don't worry, I haven't got a one-time offer for offering to be your personal coach for $197. That's not there either. It is what it is, and you can see it there on the screen.
That's perfect. And All right, so we have about 3 minutes left. I'm going to ask you a question that a lot of other people are going to ask, and then I'll leave the link to where you can pick up Bam Bam Backlinks through Lenny's, my personal link, and by doing so, you're going to get some exclusive bonuses that you won't find anywhere else. The question I'm going to ask you, you can answer that question for me, and then I'll drop the link so everybody can pick it up. All right, so the question that a lot of people are going to ask, because there are not a lot of video marketers like us out there, for people wondering if they purchase other courses about Google properties or RSS feeds, what's the difference between your course, and if they already have that course, what added benefit are they going to get by picking up Bam Bam Backlinks?
Right. If they've got a course which talks about what I'm talking about, I'm not saying this is exclusive knowledge. There are a couple of people out there that have dipped their toes into this and have created training products around it. I like to think, without blowing my own horn, but you are asking me to, so I will, I think what the edge I have is I want to make it simple to understand. KISS, this is not rocket science. You just need the knowledge and the understanding of how it works, where to find the places to go to actually put the knowledge into practice, and I want to make that as simple as possible for people to understand. I don't want it to be one of those products that halfway through it you go, oh my God, I can't get my head around this, it's way too much, way too complex for me, and God, that guy's boring, he takes so long to tell you something, and I haven't got a script here and I can't edit this, so I know I'm going around the houses a bit here, but trust me, my videos are to the point, succinct and to the point. I create the kind of training videos that I like to watch, the ones that give me just the information I need and no fluff, and I like to think that is the difference that I offer.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate that. And then let's move on to the last slide. We're talking about bonuses here. I'm not going to discuss bonuses here. You can find them on the bonus page, which is lenniesnetmarket.com/bam-bam. There'll be a replay of this webinar and the bonuses discussed. And again, if you'd like to pick up Clive's brand new product that he's got plenty of proof, he's showing you that it's worked both in YouTube and Google. Again, visit the link here. Clive, I really want to thank you for taking your time to come on the show with me and walk me through your product, and everyone that has taken the time to listen and join in on the webinar. Again, thank you for joining in as well. If you have any questions after this, feel free to just comment below this video or reach out to me or Clive, and I'm sure that one of us will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again, Clive. I really appreciate you.
No, thank you, Lenny. It's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.